know, out over the end of the carbon. And shrink it up. And be careful because the CA is flammable. That's why I don't want you to use too much. If it squirts out of the ends, catch on fire. And you blow it out real quick if that happens, but it doesn't take a lot of CA to do that. And what I want you to do is just put one Z-bend on the end of each rod. Don't put both Z-bends on, just a Z-bend on one end. The 2 big ones, the 220s and the 2 2s. We'll pull more pieces of steel here. But let's get the airplane now. Let's set this shrink aside. Get the fuselage out. Now, one thing I should have done, I got a little ahead of myself, is before you tack this stab into position, it's a good thing to put this control horn on there, and like to space it off the same distance as the standoff there. Picture of that too. And of course the hole of the horn should actually be right over the hinge line. On there, and I want you to press that horn in there a little bit, kind of dents the foam a bit so you can see it. And I've done this on the last 2 airplanes. What I used to do was I'd take my knife and cut 2 slits here, just push the knife through in 2 places, trying to get it at the same thickness as this, but they're right next to each other. But what I found out is you can just put 1 slit through it, and then just kind of give your knife a wiggle back and forth, and kind of what it does is it compresses that foam up and makes enough gap so you can slip that horn in there. Maybe wiggle it around a little bit this way, force it, and it'll pretty soon you've got a wide enough gap in there, you can drop it in. There's the horn all dropped in. Go ahead and put the CA on the horn where it's buried into the foam. Push it in. Get it all lined up. Then you want the hole right over the hinge line. You want it pointing straight forward. Nice and 90 degrees off the surface. Then I'll put a bead down each side. And squirt it with the accelerator. Then flip it over. I'm also going to put just a little bit of a coating over the top where it pokes through. Now we can hinge the rudder so we can get the control horn on it. And yes, we can do the control horn beforehand. It goes right below the U cutout here, the U shape. It just goes right in the corner there, right below it. Again, make sure that the hole's right over the hinge line. And you're going to want to have it on the left-hand side of the surface, the side you can see the bevel on. That's the side you're going to want to put the horn. Opposite side of the elevator. You just push it in, put the mark. And I pushed it, it kind of made like a nice little indentation. I can see it. Oop, that's my dull knife. Here's my sharp one. You immediately feel it doesn't slide through that foam easy. And kind of give it a little bit of a wiggle, kind of rotate it back and forth. You'll see it starting to open up. And I like to, when I can, push it through from the opposite side. So, and push it all the way through. Pull it into position. Looks good. I'm actually, yeah, I can glue it in now. It won't matter. Thought sometimes it may make it a little harder to tape when you hinge it, but I can just hinge from there down. for sure. Double check that. A little bit on each side. Hit it with the accelerator. Flip it over again a little bit here. Cover the top of it. Make sure to wipe off all that accelerator after the glue sets up. Now we're going to hinge the rudder. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can actually apply the tape to the two surfaces here up above and below the stab, or you can put the tape right directly on the rudder. Either way works. I'm just going to run some right straight across to cut the excess. Flip it over. Cut it off there. Make sure it's stuck down well. Cut out this center piece here. Alright. We'll just, with some deflect in the rudder, go ahead and start lining it up from the bottom. And come up to the top, line up the pocket knife there. Rub it in. Take that little piece I just saved from cutting out of the center and use that down here. You want to deflect the rudder as far as it'll go, and then just kind of roll that tape in there all the way to the hinge line, and flex it back and forth. And then we'll do the top half here. Move the rudder or the elevator fold down, get it out of the way. I'm holding the counterbalance here to keep the rudder deflected. Well, this is how I'll hold it when I apply the tape. Notice how I'm using the angle of the airplane to let gravity get that tape to stay flat there. There we go. Flex the rudder when I open. You have to pull it away, it's stuck to it a little bit there. Roll it on in there. Squeeze it, work it back and forth. Try to get that tape to touch each other. Tape on that side and the tape on that side. Get it to touch in the middle. Sweet. Good one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our servos ready. And I've already got them prepared. But what I've done is I went and zeroed all my sub trims and trims on my transmitter, reset all the rates, and turned it all on, and put my servos horns, the long ones on the HS56, the long single arms, and set them 90 degrees to the servo. And of course these are used servos, but you want to roughen up the side that's going to glue to the fuse and the wing, and roughen it up with some sandpaper. And we're going to take our two 20-inch push rods, two servos that are set up, one right, one left, right one and a left one. And we're going to take some Scotch tape.